Welcome, UC Bearcat fans, to UC Bearcats on the Prowl. As always, we're part of the Growing Truth Radio Network. I'm your host, James Ernest, along with my co-host, Mark Fightmaster. Mark, who's our guest this week?
This week we've got former UC basketball player, Tony Bobbit. So, Tony, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Thank you, guys, for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No problem. So, Tony, the first thing we always do when we have a guest on, we let them catch us up with where you are. So, I think you were telling us you're out in Idaho now. So, if you wouldn't mind catching us up on where you are, what you're doing, and all that fun stuff.
Oh man, I coach varsity basketball at Columbia High School. I have my own AAU basketball team. We call Idaho Rush. I work for a company that we build the baseball pads for the Major League Baseball teams. And, you know, I'm a married man with my children and, you know, just living life, man, and, you know, just coaching and
definitely.
You know,
Sounds great. It sounds kind of on the busy side.
Oh, yeah. I'm extremely busy.
Definitely. So, let's see. We'll start off with, of course, your time at UC. Any good stories or, you know, fond memories that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, man, it's too many. I tell you, I played for Bob Huggins, man, and, you know, I tell you, I got a good story.
Okay.
We had just lost in the first round of the tournament my junior year, and we were riding back from the arena. We were down in Utah, and we had lost to Gonzaga. And we got on the bus, and we headed back to the hotel. And these fans were in the front of us yelling and screaming at our bus. And Coach Huggins made him stop the bus, and he jumped off the bus and we ran up to the truck. And the fans, these kids got so scared. They were like, "No, Coach Huggins, no, we're sorry. And he got back on the bus, and it was so funny.
Oh, gosh, yeah. He doesn't seem like the type that put up with much junk.
No, he wasn't. I tell you, but he's one of the best coaches I've ever had.
Yeah, no, he just got his 800th win last week. Were you able to send him any congratulations or anything?
Yeah, actually, I talked to him about a week ago, to be honest, and I sent him a text message the other night when he got his 800th win to congratulate him. You know, I tell everybody, you know, that I meet about Coach Huggins, man, you know, he was hard on us, but he made us, you know, men, and he prepared us for life after basketball, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what a lot of players from that era have said when we've had him on. Same thing, you know, he was tough, but you guys have a loyalty to him, you know, and that's awesome. What do you find yourself using in your basketball practices that you learned from Huggins? You know, defensive schemes or defensive coaching or drills?
I'm, you know, playing for Coach Huggins, you know, you had to prepare yourself because we mostly focused on defense. And now that I coach, you know, I use this drill that he uses. It's called 4-on-4+1. And if there's any Bearcat players listening right now, they know what I'm talking about. We got this drill we call 4-on-4+1 we used to use when we played at Cincinnati. 4 guys on defense, 5 on offense. And he would put the bubble up on the basketball hoop, so therefore it was a rebounding drill. It's a defensive drill. You got to stop your man. You got to get the rebound to get out of the drill. So I try to relate that to my, you know, the high school boys in my 8th grade team, that if you could sit down and guard your man, you know, on the other end, the offense is much easier. And, you know, just learning from him and watching him and just, you know, picking Coach Huggins' brain. And I called him, you know, actually I called him the other day and I told him, I said, you know, Hugs, you know, we got beat by 30, man. He's like, listen, man, you're going to have, as long as you coach, Tony, you're going to have plenty of nights like that. And I told him, I said, we couldn't even guard nobody. What do I do? And he was like, I don't know, Tone, you know. So, I mean, just, you know, guys, just the most important part about Coach Huggins was defense. And he didn't care if you could score or dunk or shoot a three-pointer. He wanted to know if you could guard your man. And that helped me throughout my professional career, too. That's why I was able to play so long, because I can guard my man and coaches like that.
Awesome. That's
so
great.
how
Now, go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. So, Tony, how was your transition from South Idaho to UC?
Oh man, it was crazy. You know, I came to UC. I came from being a junior college All-American, coming behind Steve Logan. You know, Steve Logan left, and I filled his spot. And you know, I remember the first day of practice, Coach Huggins. You know, I was like, "Whoa, this is a culture shock," because honestly, guys, I did not know how to guard my man. I could not keep my man in front of me to save nobody's life. And Andy Kennedy, who's the head coach now at Ole Miss, he recruited me, and he told me, he said, Tony, if you want to play for Coach Huggins and then you want to stay on the floor, you got to be able to guard your man. So my good friend, still to this day, Leonard Stokes, you know, took me aside and basically showed me some things of how to stay on the floor guarding my man. And I tell you, man, coming from Southern Idaho to Cincinnati was like, you know, man, it was like eating apples and oranges. It was completely opposite, and it was tough. But, man, the best 2 years of my life, I tell you guys.
Who do you think was, or who do you feel was the best player that you ever played with?
Played with or against?
With or against, yeah, either one. Yeah, well, actually, if you would, answer with first and then again second. Yeah, that works.
Okay, the best at Cincinnati, right?
Oh, no, just in general. I mean, shoot, you played so many places. High school.
Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Figured that one was an easy one.
Right. I just actually, you know, saw Kobe last year at his last game in Utah.
Oh,
I
nice.
took the kids down, and my son got a chance to meet him, and, you know, he looked me in my face and said, Bobbit, you know, you're always family. But it goes back to what I just told you guys about what Coach Huggins prepared me for. When I got to L.A., I was able to know how to guard my man. And to play with Kobe was like just the best player to play with. Now, to play against, I'll tell you the truth, was Dwayne Wade at Marquette. Dwayne was tough.
Yeah.
Dwayne did so much.
Yeah, you guys had some battles with that Marquette team. That was those were fun, you know, as a fan to watch. Those were fun.
Right.
He was something, man. He was something.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned, you know, of course, the junior college success. Going back to your high school days, I believe I read somewhere that you and Vince Carter were teammates?
Yeah. VC, man, that's my guy.
What was that like? Pretty good contest, I'm guessing?
You know, actually, me and the coaches were in the gym last night before our high school game. We were talking about Vince. And, you know, I give big props to Vince, future Hall of Famer.
That's if he ever retires. I don't think he's going to ever retire.
Vince could play till he's 50.
Exactly. Because, I mean, how his game has evolved over the years.
Man.
Yeah.
I just think being a young guy and watching him, because I was a freshman, he was a senior, and I was watching him, and I was on the varsity team, watching him do what he did, that inspired me to be even better. And he opened up the door for guys like me, and, you know, I ran with it.
Oh, Mark, your turn.
Oh, okay. You know, Tony, why don't you tell us a little bit about your let's see. You played overseas in, Italy and Germany, and did you play in Greece also?
Yeah, I played in Greece. I played in Italy, Germany, Greece. I played in Mexico. I played everywhere.
What was the best competition you faced overseas? In which country was the best opposition?
At that time, when I was playing in 2006, it had to be Italy. I was playing against guys like Leon Greer, David Hawkins, my good buddy who I just talked to on the phone probably like an hour ago, Big Harold Jameson that played at Clemson. I don't know if you guys remember Darryl Wilson that played on that Final Four team at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
I played against some great competition in Italy, and you know, it was EuroLeague basketball because I played for Avellino, so we played 3 nights a week, and it was real tough. And I tell you, if I had to pick a country, it was Italy, because You never knew what to expect. And this is a funny story. Bargnardi, the guy that played for the Raptors, he was on my team, but he was a young boy, and Cephalosha was on my team, and he was a young boy, and they never got off the bench. And I used to tease them. I say, well, why are you not getting off the bench? They would look at me and say, Tony, we're first-round picks. And I was like, yeah, right. And come to find out, they were first-round picks.
Man, that's crazy. But what, did they just sit them so they wouldn't get hurt? Is that what they were doing?
Well, what the Europeans do is the Americans, they play all the minutes, you know. The Americans have to play. And those boys was only like 15, 16 years old. Okay. And that's why the European basketball is getting so popular, because they're starting their kids over there. Those kids are playing pro ball at 13, 14 years old, you know, on junior teams.
Okay.
And I had the pleasure to be around those boys for 2 years, man, and I watched them. I watched them grow as young boys into men, and it was fun.
That's cool. Now, which of the countries overseas was your favorite one to live in?
Oh, Germany, all day.
Really?
All day. I lived in a little town called Bremerhaven, like 20 minutes from Bremen. All day, Germany. I would say Germany is, you know, people in Germany speak. So, no, I'll take that back. I played in Cyprus. So I played in the Mediterranean. I played in Cyprus, in Larnaca. So the Cyprians, and I would say Cyprus and Germany, because the Cyprians are great people. And they welcomed me in their town. We played good basketball. The only thing about Cyprus is you only play 16 games. Like, it's like a 4-month league. But Germany is a 12-month league. It's a 12-month, you know, drive. So that's tough basketball, where you practice twice a day, and, you know, you eat as a team, you share a room as a team, you know, on the road, and it was nice. You know, I would say Germany and Cyprus, though, guys.
Very cool. Very cool. James?
Yeah. So, Tony, what was the difference when you were in the D League between getting drafted to a team and being a player pool?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I've never been in the. Was I in the player pool? I don't know. Was I?
Yeah, it says that's how Colorado got you.
Oh yeah. What happened was, okay, so I was the second pick to the Bakersville Jam with Coach Jim Herrick, and then I played in Bakersville for a while, and then I broke my hand. So when I broke my hand, Coach Herrick was, you know, he said, listen, Tony, we're going to release you and put you in the players pool, but if nobody don't pick you up here in the next 2 weeks, we'll bring you back. And my hand was getting better. I had the cast off, and then all of a sudden, Colorado picked me up, Denver picked me up, and Coach Joe Wolf called my phone and said, hey, you want to come play in Denver? I'm like, of course. And, you know, the difference is you got to stay in shape. If I could tell these young guys anything now, just because you get put in the players pool or if a team releases you doesn't mean you have a week off. I saw a guy get put in the players pool, and 20 minutes later he got picked right back up. Actually, I saw this, guys. I saw a guy get picked in the players pool, get put in the player, got released from Bakersville. By the time he was getting to the airport to go home, they had to change his ticket because somebody had already picked him up.
Wow.
So that's how that worked. Now, I don't know how the D-League is now, but I know when we were playing, that's what happened. And actually, that player was Scooter McFadden.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you ended up getting drafted twice in that league, it looks like.
Right.
Also to Maine.
Yeah, and guess what's funny? In Maine, I went in the last round, and Randy Livingston, who's like my big brother, and Austin Ames was the head coach. They drafted me in the last round, and come to find out, we were in preseason practice training camp, and Austin looked at me. Austin said, "How is my best player my last pick?"
Yeah.
But those were my younger days where I could run and jump and and shoot and guard my man. Now I'm just an old man and coaching and raising my kids.
Yeah. There you go.
What was Seattle like?
Yeah.
In Seattle?
Yeah, when you were with Seattle, what was that like?
Man, you know what? Honestly, Seattle it was different. Guys like Rashard Lewis and Ray Allen, they were different. Ray Allen work ethic is on a level where I've never seen before, other than Kobe Bryant. He would just live, eat, breathe in the gym, and unfortunately, it was sad to see that Oklahoma took over the team, but I didn't even get a chance to stay long because of the issues that was going on. But it was fun. I made good friends, and I met new people in Seattle, and I just played ball. Seattle was a town where I played ball and went back to my room.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So, when you're coaching the kids, I mean, do they know about your career, or do they just think of you as coach?
That's all I hear. That's all I hear. And
they're always asking about it.
They always asking about it, and I tell them, I said it's hard work, and I did a lot of praying. I had a father that the key is the kids always ask me, they say, well, Coach Bobbit, how did you do it? How did you play ball? And I say, well, I got a dad that always supported me. And Coach Huggins knows my dad very well. Andy Kennedy knows my dad very well. Keith Legree, all those guys. And, Bob Goin, the former athletic director, he knew my father very well. And the key for me was I had great support. My dad never let me down. He was always there for me. And like I tell the parents, if you want your child to be successful in anything that they do in life, you must support them, whether they're right or wrong. And if they are wrong, you work with them through their wrongness, but you also let them know that it is okay. Everything will be okay. And that's what I try to tell the kids, and they look at me and they laugh and they say, well, whatever, Coach, you still made it. And I'm like, yeah, but with the faith of God and, having the great people around me, because everybody knows my story and everybody knows the troubles I got into before Cincinnati and high school, and I quit the team at Cincinnati and came back, and because I didn't feel I was being treated well, but life is not all peaches and cream, so I try to teach the kids that.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned about quitting at UC. Another UC legend actually went through the same thing. Terry Nelson. We had him on a while back, and he said he quit for like 2 days or something. I forget how long it was. It wasn't long, but Coach Huggins told him, "Fine, if you want to quit, quit." And then he quit, but he came back after, like I said, about 2 days, and then Coach was like, "No, you take the whole week off and you think about it," that kind of thing. It was a really neat story.
Right, he did the same thing to me. I quit and I missed the Louisville game at Louisville, and I'm pretty sure, the team could have used me at Louisville because we only lost by like 4, and then I come right back the next week to give Rick Pitino 29 at home. I tell you, man, you guys really, it was tough playing for Bob Huggins now. Hey. And people can say what they want to say. People can say what they want to say about Bobby Huggins, but I love that man. I will always love him. He knows it. He's one of my biggest. I'm one of his biggest fans. I will support him no matter what they say or what he's been through. He changed my life. He always been there for me. The things that he told the Lakers about me, and the things that he told other news reporters about me, and it was always positive. And if there was anything negative that he wanted to say to me, he said it to me behind closed doors. He never blasted me out on national TV or in the newspaper. He never did none of us like that. And I think that's one reason why we all have a brotherhood towards each other, and we all love him as a father, you know?
Right. There definitely is a strong bond between him and his players, and I think that speaks to him as a coach and as a person, you know.
Right.
And that's great. And now with you coaching, you know, now you get a chance to do that with your players, you know, and to spread that to them and teach them what you've learned, and it's a really great situation. You know, that you get to pass it on because, I mean, you think about it. You are just passing on the knowledge that you got from all your coaches, you know, and in your time playing. Now you're passing that on to a younger generation. I think that's really special. And
you know, I just want to say this too, you know, and also we had an assistant coach, and he passed away, Coach Dan Peters, man. And Coach Pete was my guy. Coach Pete was my number one guy, him and Andy Kennedy. But I could always go to Coach Pete and ask Coach Pete questions, or, you know, if we made Coach Huggins upset about not playing well, or if we came up a loss, Coach Pete was always there to make everything right. You know what I'm saying? He was like that extra, you know, that uncle that would just come sit down with you and let you know, hey, listen, everything's going to be all right. Just, you know, stay focused and don't get in any trouble. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, we lost Coach Pete due to cancer, but, you know, Coach Pete was, you know, I give credit to Coach Huggins, you know, for what he did, but Coach Pete and Andy Kennedy and Keith McGree, they were always there for us, man, and I take my hat off to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Looking back at your time at Cincinnati, what would you say is like your one signature moment or your one proudest moment during a game?
Oregon, Jimmy V Classic,
okay.
31 points.
Yeah, I remember that game. I remember watching that game. Yeah.
Or we could take it back to my senior year against Memphis, Calipari. When I scored the last 5, I ended up with 25. But I scored the last 5 in the last 30 seconds of the game to win the district. That was the last time we won the conference in the conference tournament in 2004, guys. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. I remember that. I remember my brother and I were watching.
There's too many signatures for me. Remember the kid from DePaul that hit me in the private area?
Oh yeah.
Down at the arena, and I came back and scorched him.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. Yeah. Oh man, you had some moments, man. You had some great games playing for.
You know what? I honestly, when I look back at it, guys, I give all the credit to my teammates, because if you could have heard the things that was said in that locker room, of how just to get me open, and they were so unselfish. Like guys like Eric Hicks, who I talk to Eric. I talk to Eric at least once a week, or Facebook once a week, and Jason Maxill and Nick Williams and Chad Moore and James Slight White. Those guys were so unselfish towards me and Phil Williams and Kareem Johnson, they were so unselfish. Like it wasn't even funny. Like they knew that I had to touch the ball, and they didn't get mad about it. They wouldn't pout. They wouldn't, say smart remarks to me. They would say this is what they would say. They would say, "Keep shooting, Bobbit. Keep shooting, T. Get open, T. Come on, you got to wake up. Wake up, T. Where are you tonight? Why are you not doing what you do best?" And I give all my credit to my teammates for allowing me to have great moments at Cincinnati.
That's awesome. Yeah, we had Hicks on about a month ago, maybe a little more than a month ago, and he was telling us about
guy.
He was telling us about your practices where Hugs would pair you up with just one other guy, and you guys would go at it all practice, 5-on-5, just beating the hell out of each other.
Oh yeah, coming to one of our practices is just like being in Afghanistan without the gun.
Now, who were you matched up with? Were you matched up with White?
No, I was matched up with probably one of the toughest guys on the team, Phil Williams.
Okay.
Phil was tough. You know what? I want to say this on the radio, and if you're a Bearcat fan and you're listening, and if you're a former Bearcat, you might agree with me. Phil Williams just did not get the credit that he deserved. He's 1,000-point scorer. I think he's number one with three-pointers. I'm not sure. But Phil Williams hit a game-winning shot against Louisville my senior year. If he doesn't make that shot, we do not win the conference title to go play Memphis, because that gives Memphis 2 games ahead of everybody, if anybody remembers that. So I want to give a special shout-out to Phil Williams, because he deserved everything that we accomplished. Phil Williams deserved it, because he came to work every day and he busted his butt, and he was a great person, a great student, and a great man.
Yep. I'll tell you what, he had a sweet shot too. He had
yes, he did.
Just the form and everything, just real nice. I mean, you could,
yes.
One of those ones where he let go of the ball, and you're just like, yeah, it's in. That's
yes.
He's a heck of a shooter.
So, Tony, what
yes,
are your
sir.
thoughts on the current team?
You know what, guys?
Like I
haven't watched them. I watched one game this year, and that was against Penn State. I think we beat them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched one game. I tell you though,
Rhode Island and
right.
Yeah,
I tell you though, I talked to Coach Cronin on the phone probably about 6 months ago, and he always told me if I ever needed anything, as far as when I come to Cincinnati and I want to come to a game, or if I want to come in and talk to the guys, I'm more than welcome. But honestly, guys, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, and I love Cincinnati University. I love what they did for me and my family. But I'm a Bobby Huggins guy, man. I'm loyal to Hugs, man, and I'm gonna always be loyal to Hugs. I don't never come back to Cincinnati that much, so I don't get a chance to watch the boys. Only time I get a chance to watch them is if they're on ESPN or something. But I will say this: Gilpatrick from Cincinnati that plays in the NBA, he's killing it. But I don't know those guys. I don't know them because I'm a lot older and they're younger. But I'm proud to see that we have some Bearcats still in the league, like Lance Stevenson and Gilpatrick, and if those guys just keep doing what they're doing, they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the current team plays tough defense. That's ever since Huggins. He started the defensive mindset here, and the coaches that have come after him have run with that. Cronin was with him for a while as an assistant, and obviously Kennedy. And I like seeing that. As a UC fan, knowing to be able to count on their defense. That you play against UC and you get beat up. You are playing against a good team and a great defensive team, and you are going to be in a battle. And you guys set that tone. You guys set that tone on Huggins' team, and it has carried on ever since.
It was just when you came to practice, you knew what you was coming to. When Coach Huggins walked out of that coach's office and he walked into the gym, you knew you had to be ready. Mm-hmm. And the key was bigger, faster, stronger. We lived in the weight room. We lived in the gym. Our trainer at the time was Big Scott. I don't know if you ever met Scott. Have you ever met Scott, the trainer at the time?
No.
Yeah, I don't believe
Scott.
We met him yet.
Scott was an amazing trainer.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's the same fellow.
We were a lot bigger than other teams. We would walk up to other teams, and I would look, and me, I didn't have no weight on me, but Eric Hicks, Jason Maxill, and Robert Whaley, and those guys were huge. Kareem Johnson. And I would look at the other centers, I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, Eric Hicks and Jason Maxill, those two, they could fill out an offensive line if they had to. They were.
Oh, man.
Well, that was the crazy part. Eric was telling us about how he played football for a game or two for the indoor team. So that was kind of interesting when we got to talk to him.
Yeah, I got a true story. Coach Kelly at the time when he was our head coach at Cincinnati, he wanted Eric to play football. Seriously.
Yeah.
He really wanted Eric to play football. And Coach Huggins was like, no way.
No, you're not taking my big guy.
Tight end or running back. It would have been interesting.
Man, you could put Eric in the middle and just let him roam.
Exactly.
You know, guys, that's one of my favorite buddies, man, Eric Hicks, man. You know, I love that guy to death, and that guy got us out of a lot of jams. And when we needed a rebound, when we needed a stop, period, he could hedge out on the guard and still get back to his man with that 9-foot wingspan, him and Jason Maxfield.
Yep.
And, you know, just that era when we were playing college basketball was fun. You know, everybody was good then, you know, everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, definitely. You know,
in 2018, you'll come back to town to see the new arena because they're doing.
Yeah, I saw that though, guys. I saw that they built a new arena.
Yeah, well, what they're doing is they're basically gutting the Shoemaker Center, and they're gonna revamp the outside, and instead of the way that it's set with the sidelines, they're gonna make it more of a bowl, inside, so they can sit more people and get a little louder in there. So. Yeah,
wow.
But yeah, definitely. It's 2018 is when they're shooting to have it open. So,
that's nice.
And I'm starting the rumor because I heard this from a source that, of course, heard it from another source. So who knows how true it is? That the craziness about it is they're not going to U.S. Bank Arena, or they're not going over to Xavier. They're going to play at KU.
Yeah.
Is the rumor?
They're going to do what now?
They're going to play UC's home game in 2017. This is, of course, just speculation and rumor from a couple of reporters that I've talked to. They're saying they have been told that UC is going to play their games at NKU because, of course, the shoe will be gutted during the season next year, so they won't be able to play there. So they'll have to play somewhere. I originally thought U.S. Bank Arena, but they're saying they probably won't go down there. And then I thought, well, heck, play over at Xavier because it's closer. But they're saying, no, they're stubborn. They won't play with Xavier because, the crosstown shootout rivalry, that kind of. So the next logical step is NKU.
But why wouldn't they play at the U.S. Bank, though?
I think I don't get why they wouldn't play down there.
The one thing that I could see with U.S. Bank Arena is it's a little old. It's a little not in the best shape. Now, one thing about it is that it holds 18,000 people, and so they may not, fill that. With BB&T, which is where Northern Kentucky plays, that holds about 9,000. So should be able to fill that because, quite honestly, the home games, other than the big conference games, they haven't been doing the best, doing great with attendance. But
wow.
I think. And plus, who knows? Maybe Northern Kentucky offered it to them at a good price, to use it, and said, "Hey, come down here and get some attention to our place." So, because how long has that been there, James? How long has BB&T been there?
Been there about 8 years.
8 years,
right?
Yeah. So it's maybe they're going to get some attention there. So, but U.S. Bank Arena just it's a little old, and. So who knows? Who knows the real reason behind it? But James, I had also heard that too. So
yeah, and
wow.
Like NKU's arena, they probably get for 6 a game, where like Cintas, I've been told, is about 10, and then I don't know what U.S. Bank Arena goes for, probably 7 or 8. And so it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with it. I know when were you under the Conference USA or you were Big East?
I was Conference USA.
Okay, so they used to do your postseason tournament down there, right?
Right. That was the last time we won the conference tournament. I was MVP. You remember?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, man. That conference does not get the props that it should have for that time period. You think about the teams that were in that and some of the basketball players.
I will tell you this. I'll say this. You had Louisville. Francisco Garcia, Reese Gaines, Taekwon Dean. You had UAB, the little point guard, the two twins.
Yep.
You had TCU, Melvin Shaw, and the two bigs. You had Marquette, Travis Dina, Dwayne Wade, Cincinnati, all of us. St. Louis wasn't bad.
Yeah.
People talk smack about the Conference USA, but how many of them could join the Conference USA and win, though? Because we came to play every night.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a basketball conference.
I forget, was Templin there with you all as well, or
who? Temple?
I know you played them a lot, but you never.
Yeah, they played them. They weren't in Conference USA at that time. They may have even been in the A10.
Okay.
No, they were Temple was.
Yeah.
Temple was A10.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, but you guys.
But guys, think about this though. Think about all the Conference USA teams. And when we played out of conference, I don't think none of our teams ever lost. Like we smacked Oregon around. We smacked Oklahoma State around with Tony Allen and them. Look what Coach Huggins did to Duke down at the Maui Classic with Kenyon. Like every time, look what Louisville did to Kentucky. Like every time, I'm just saying, I'm speaking facts. Every time Conference USA teams would play these teams, like not only did we beat them, we smack them around though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You guys always put up a strong showing.
Right.
Yeah. It was a physical conference. I mean, it really was. It was a physical, beat you down basketball conference, and it was fun. I thought it was fun basketball to watch. Not everybody might have thought that, but I definitely thought it was fun basketball.
I'll tell you another team that was good in Conference USA. Like when we were playing Charlotte. Charlotte was real good.
Yeah, with Bobby Lutz. Yeah.
Bobby Lutz.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I'll tell you what, man. Those were some frustrating teams because they always had one little 3-point shooter. One year was Guevara was his last name, I believe. Diego Guevara.
Yeah.
Oh man, they'd always have one dude who would just sit out there behind the 3-point line and throw up everything and make it against them. Oh God, they were frustrating to play. It was frustrating to watch them. I obviously never had to play against them, but it was frustrating to watch them. I hated playing Charlotte. That's a fun conference, though, man. Fun conference.
I really enjoyed playing for Bobby Huggins and representing the city of Cincinnati.
And you did it well, man. You did it well.
Thank you very much.
Well, we definitely appreciate you being on the show, and we look forward to following up with you, finding out how your team progresses, how the coaching's going, that kind of thing. So definitely, we hopefully will be able to have you on again next season.
Hey, I want to say thank you guys for having me on, man, and go Bearcats and the city of Cincinnati. They know I love them, and that's my second home, man. And thank you guys again for having me. And if you ever need me on the show again, I'm available. You got my number.
Excellent. We appreciate
Awesome.
it. Hey, fans, welcome back to the show. Thank Tony for being on the show. He was great. Mark, what do the UC Bearcats got going on?
Well, tomorrow night they got Marshall. Again, should be another win for the team. Quite honestly, I think looking at some of the lines, they're like a 19-point favorite. And quite honestly, not much has happened since the last time we were on. They've played one game, I think against Fairleigh Dickinson, or however you want to pronounce that. And they handled them pretty well. They scored, 119 points, and the walk-ons got close to 6 minutes of playing time. So, that's not one of those games where you're going to learn too much about your team. You just want to play it, see if they play some defense, and nobody gets hurt. So, but we'll see. We'll see if Marshall can pose a little bit more of a challenge tomorrow night when they play him, or Thursday night when they play him. Defense is playing well, 16th in the country as far as points given up. What I like to see is that the offense is starting to catch up with the defense a little bit. Now, granted, it could be the quality of the opponents they've been playing against, but you still got to put the ball in the basket. So,
Cumberland started to do better. The freshmen, I think that, it was definitely a spurt on the offense. Like the other night against Texas Southern, he was like 3 of 5. I mean, he was or 3 of 7 or 5 of 7 from 3. I mean, he was lighting it up. And like Terry had said with Justin Jennifer, shoot, just starting to build their careers. Right. I mean, just the depth and all, it's been nice to see. So I'm looking forward to the Marshall game tomorrow night. Obviously, like you said, it shouldn't even be close, but it'll be nice to see, some of the players work on specific things opposed to just, have to worry about the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Then next week, the 28th, they start to get into the big part of the schedule, the AAC. They open at Temple, I believe. So, and I think our next show will actually be after that game. So,
our next show will be
we'll see how they do
after the Tulane game. We're gonna
Tulane. Okay, all right, gotcha.
Yeah, because we're gonna take off that Wednesday, and then the first we're gonna have. Oh gosh, what was
Deontay Vaughn.
Deontay Vaughn, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're going to have him come to us. Nice. Yeah. He'll be in town for the game because otherwise I think he's playing overseas. So scheduling-wise, would have been a pain in the neck. Like we would have had to have done the show at, 4 in the morning or something our time to get it to a decent time for him. So, when he's in town watching the game because he's going to go to the Tulane game and then he'll give us a call in that night.
Oh, very good.
So that'll work out.
Excellent.
Yeah, so definitely fans, we glad to keep tuning in to UC Bearcats on the Prowl. As always, we thank you. Mark, any thoughts on the holidays?
No, just hope everybody has a good Christmas. Enjoy time with the family.